The night the violin spoke in the quiet town of Greenville, New York, where time moved slowly and life followed a familiar rhythm, stood an upscale restaurant called the Glass Room. A sanctuary of soft jazz, fine wine, and elite deals, it was the kind of place where power was whispered, not shouted. Sarah Brennan, 37, had worked there for 6 steady years. She didn't chase dreams anymore, only stability. 12-hour shifts, polite smiles, and a war name tag were her reality. But outside, on a weathered bench across the street, waited Emily, her 14-year-old daughter, with a battered violin in hand and quiet fire in her eyes. Sarah once dreamt of being on stage, studying at the Manhattan School of Music, before an unexpected pregnancy, family rejection, and broken mentorship forced her home. She buried her violin, became both mother and father, and poured everything into raising Emily. Emily found that violin at age 8. No grand gesture, just quiet curiosity. One night, Sarah picked it up again, and played. That was all it took. No teachers. No sheet music. Just memory, love, and long evenings of note after note. Emily absorbed it all like breath. By 14, she played Vivaldi and Mason's Meditation from memory, intuitively, masterfully. But she had never performed in public. Not until the night the CEO made a cruel joke. Richard Langford, billionaire founder of Langford Capital, was in town. Arrogant, silver-haired, always in control. He booked the VIP room and spotted Emily waiting in the lobby. "Is that your daughter?" he asked Sarah, amused. "She plays violin," Sarah said quietly. "In Greenville?" he smirked. "Can she play anything besides the dog waltz?" He tossed a $100 bill on the table and said, "Let's have some fun. Let her play." Sarah froze. But Emily stepped forward and said, "I'll play." She opened her case, drew the bow, and began. The room fell silent. Her fingers didn't tremble. The first note was soft, hesitant, but what followed was a revelation. She didn't just play music. She told a story. Her story. Sarah's story. Every lost dream, every sacrifice, woven into a haunting, beautiful performance. Even the kitchen staff stood frozen when the last note faded. The applause erupted. But it was the quiet man in the corner, in a gray jacket, who mattered most. Thomas Rinn, a producer and director of a prestigious Boston Music Academy. "We need to talk," he said to Sarah. "Your daughter is extraordinary." Langford tried to reclaim control. Offered expensive instruments, private tutors. "She could be my project," he hinted. "No thank you," Sarah replied. Emily added softly, "We're not for sale." Later, at home, they sat in silence. Emily asked, "Do you think I can do it?" Sarah replied, "I believe in you. Even if I can't be there, I'm always with you." Rinn offered a full scholarship, housing, food, tuition. No strings attached. Just faith in raw, undeniable talent. Langford, stewing, called his assistant. "Find out everything about that academy. I don't like losing control." But control had already shifted. That night changed everything. Because sometimes, one performance can rewrite a legacy. By 8 p.m., the restaurant was packed. Sarah kept moving between tables, but inside, she was bracing herself. Langford had arrived, flanked by 3 sharply dressed men and a woman in an elegant black dress. He was in high spirits, laughing loudly, praising the wine, leaving generous tips. "Sarah," he called out just as she placed a plate down. "Tell me, where's our little prodigy tonight? Is there a concert I should know about?" She didn't answer. From the shadows near the back of the restaurant, Emily stepped forward. In her hands was the same worn violin. Her voice was quiet but steady. "I can play, if you want." The entire restaurant seemed to freeze. Heads turned. Utensils stopped midair. Langford paused, studying her. Then he chuckled. Well, round 2 it is. I hope you're as prepared tonight as you were last time." He clapped. A waiter turned off the background music. Silence. Emily stood by the window, framed by the city's lights. The warm amber glow from the chandeliers made her look almost weightless. The violin was old, the bow frayed, but her posture was steady, her hands sure. Then she played. Not a classical piece this time. Something new. Something hers. It began delicately, like the first hints of rain. Then the melody grew, rich, bold, undeniable. A haunting variation inspired by Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, but with its own heartbeat. It wasn't academic. It wasn't proper. It was honest.
She wasn't playing to impress. She was playing to speak. I am here. I can do this.
I don't need permission. When the final note faded, the room was still.
No claps. No whispers.
Just silence.
Then, a single clap. Then another.
Soon, the room erupted. Applause, whistles, people standing.
It wasn't entertainment anymore. It was revelation.
Langford clapped too, but he didn't smile.
He stared at Emily with a different expression now.
Not admiration. Calculation. Later, as the restaurant began to empty, Thomas Rain approached Emily. He'd been seated in the back, this time as a guest, not a scout. He shook her hand quietly and said, "There's no decision to be made now, Emily.
You have to go. This isn't an offer anymore.
It's a duty, to your gift."
Emily looked to Sarah. Her mother nodded.
"We'll start the paperwork tomorrow," Rain added.
"It's all ready."
"I'll go," Emily replied softly. When the restaurant was nearly empty and Sarah had changed out of her apron, Langford approached her again. "Alone. This time she's noticed," he said.
"She's not just a girl with talent anymore. She's a valuable asset."
"Congratulations." "She's not an asset," Sarah replied, firm.
"She's a person. And it's her choice."
"Everyone chooses," Langford said. "But sometimes it's wiser to accept help than to regret a missed opportunity."
He held out a business card.
"I can give her more than the academy, management, contracts, exposure. Let her think about it."
Sarah didn't take the card. She already did. And she chose. Without you.
Langford left without another word. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. Emily was curled up on the floor beside the bed. Her violin case lay open, and next to it, papers from the Ryan Academy.
On top, a simple sheet.
"For Emily Brennan, a talent that needs wings." Sarah looked at her daughter and, for the first time in many years, she wasn't afraid of tomorrow.